I'm going to call the joint meeting to order, our joint work session with the school board, and I am going to ask Mr. Palin to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you all, everybody, for being here and braving this nice cold weather we're having. I'm going to pass the meeting now over to Joan. You all need to call your meeting to order. I told you it's going to be rough tonight. Bumpy road, but.
I've had my bumpy road already, okay? I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have a quorum, okay? We're now in session.
Okay. All right. If it is fine with everyone, we'll turn it over to Ms. Jessica and let you lead us through your discussion.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. And tonight is a work session, good conversation, sharing where we are, and looking through the slides and the papers thank you, that we had shared with you. I would feel better bringing no proposed increases, but this is about investing in our people. So the board decided they would like to bring two different proposals for salary increase forward. There are some factors that we still don't have numbers to. This is still a work in progress, this budget for us. So I'm going to walk you through where we are with those. And of course, our health insurance increase is projected very high this year. We don't have that final number yet, but we will get that. And then I wanted to share a proposal with you of something new that would like to implement with the school division. So feel free to stop me at any time and ask questions, and we can hopefully have some good conversation tonight. So I'll just start right in. We have on this first slide two options for salary increase. According to the governor's budget, there needs to be a 2% increase minimum this year and a minimum of a 2% increase for FY28 as well. So looking at, if we were to do the 2% increase, which would be a step plus a 0.5% increase across the board, that would be a total of 2%. The funds to cover that, let me back up. We take that. We also we're looking at doing a scale adjustment for our non-exempt employees to increase their base salary, and that's our nutritional workers, our bus drivers and car drivers, our custodians. Who am I forgetting in there, Kia? Our custodian, transportation. Gosh, don't forget transportation. We're looking at, in both of these proposals, a 1.5 salary increase for administrators and directors. And with option number one, that it would put our starting teacher salary at $51,852. And we'll talk about numbers in a minute because a big portion of that is our health insurance. So option two that's listed on here is a 3% increase. That would be across the board. 1.5 increase plus a step of 1.5, which would bring it to a total of 3. That keeps the administrators and directors at a 1.5% increase, and that would, if we went to 3%, that would put our starting teacher salary at $52,368. The numbers that you're seeing here, the local fund increase, I know those aren't good numbers. I know they're not what you want to see. And like I said, these are still a work in progress. That's just where we are right now. And that number includes the proposed salary increase. It includes a scale adjustment for our non-exempt employees, like I just said. And it also includes the worst case scenario for our insurance. So we were projected at a 20% increase for our health insurance. That was certainly not a number that we were excited to hear. We got very lucky last year. We came in at a 0% increase. We'll probably never get that again, but it worked out very well last year.
Jessica, what's the total insurance premium bill per year? You have a $343,000 increase to the.
That would
so
be an
what- What's the
increase.
total bill you pay per year?
Kia, we'll pull that up. Yeah, that
Already.
would, and that's what we have in this budget right now. We put in a 20% increase just because it's worst case scenario. We are supposed to get that final number by the end of this week. So, you know, fingers crossed, it will come in less than 20. Every little bit less there will make a big difference in these numbers.
Because it seems like at some point, if across the county and the school, if we keep increasing at this rate, we might as well self-insure ourselves and pay for our employees' medical bills versus pay the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Another thought too, that I was thinking, I think we've been down this road before, is everybody, you know, looking at the same plan, because
Yeah.
Don, we on different, you know, than the school.
Well, everybody's on the local choice. It's just that we have two different agents who handle it for us. We have David Road through Bankers Insurance and,
We have Mark III.
who?
Mark III.
Okay. So, but both the schools and the county are on the local choice, which is a state-run program.
And combining could hurt or benefit one or the other or both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the difference is, we have less than 100 employees, we can only offer 2 plans because of the number of employees. They have over 100 employees, so you all offer 3 plans, I believe, is that correct?
Yes. And one of our benefits to our plans is appealing to staff too, because we can allow for families, before you go to the family plan, you can have employee and children. For many of our
Have
single
we looked at
parents.
offering such option people to like savings account types, high insurance, and then funding their deductible premium into their HSA?
We do that.
Yeah,
No, I meant like their deductible, like mine's $5,000. We have $5,000 here at the county. So instead of like paying all that money for insurance, drive people to those accounts and then fund the $5,000 to that account per year to pay their full
Yeah.
deductible, so they don't have any liability. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
It does, and I think it's, I mean, obviously a good time to explore options.
Yeah, I'm just,
Like I said, we got real lucky last year with the 0%, but
because $343,000, I'm assuming it's $1 million premium on top of that.
Yeah.
1.8.
So we're
Yeah.
paying almost $1.5 million for this premium. What's the total in the county?
I can tell you, but I got to go back in my office and grab the
I think we should look it all up and try to get a number for all this, because it seems to be getting damn
I think it's
high.
getting out of
Like
hand.
1.8.
That's why I brought it up, make sure
Yeah.
that the county and the school is
Yeah.
on the same,
Yeah,
but I'll use the word company, everybody's using the same
Yeah,
thing.
we are on the same plan, but like I said, we have 2 different agents, and if we combined and went as one group, as Jessica said, it could be better for us, or it could be worse. Because the school system with over 100 employees, their re-enrollment premium has a lot to do with their history. Whereas on the ones with less than 100, your re-enrollment is based more on the pool. And there's 40,000, I think, employees across the state in that local choice pool. So if they have a high-end result on their people using a lot of insurance,
Do we-
then that could
High claims.
adversely affect us.
Do we know the usage number that the insurance companies pay out on our behalf of our members? Like the total amount of insurance that they pay out?
I
versus
don't
what
have
we
that
pay in
number.
premium? Like, do they give you a
yeah,
number to
we
say?
have that not.
We
with me
paid
right now.
$1.5 million worth of claims on behalf of
Yeah,
the,
I can get that, but I
I
don't
have
have
it
that.
Yeah, we
At
have
the
that at the
school.
office too.
I think that'd be nice to know,
because at some point we need to start looking at that number and comparing it, because if these keep climbing, eventually we are going to get to a point where we might as well self-insure ourselves and take the liability of.
And it can change so much
are
from
you
year to
looking at
year,
a
you know, it
similar-
can
similar
be,
to this
next year it might be
increase?
great again.
Are you looking at an increase as well?
Because like that's what they do in the city of
20%?
Richmond, essentially, they self-insure themselves.
Self-insure.
They have
I'd
their
have
own
to learn
medical
more about
doctors
that.
and
Yeah, and Bill just asked a question about the county's increase. Last year, we had a 10% increase, which was standard for organizations who had less than 100 employees. I don't have the final numbers yet for this year, but I'm told that if there is an increase, it'll be a single-digit increase. So if you add those 2 years together.
It would be interesting to see if we could get like a 10-year history of claim paid versus what we've been paying in premiums, and see how much those align to each other. See how much like we've paid, how much has been paid on our behalf, like out by the insurance companies versus how much premium we've paid. And then we can start to look at those numbers comparatively to see how much we're just funding insurance companies versus actually providing health care to our members.
Yeah, I could get those numbers, I don't have them.
Yeah, we can too. And take a deeper dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 20% increase is
This is
large.
just,
Did you
this is
get-
a nationwide problem. It's unsustainable,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Did you get the number on what the premium is?
1.8 million.
1.8 million?
And that's with this increase or currently?
That's with this increase.
Okay.
Well, no.
No, that's
currently. That's
current.
Or we
currently.
paid 1.8 mil killer,
Is that what she said?
and it would go up approximately another 350,000, probably, maybe somewhere in that.
Yeah, so on that slide on the left, those local fund increase initial numbers are including that 343,000.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting to be a really big number.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to start like, I'm really interested to see how much the claims are.
Yeah, and it's interesting, I mean, we sat down and, so you have that certain, we had quite a few large claims last year. So of course, they use that to project. And then we had several claims that, once you get to a threshold, is it 500,000? Once it gets to like 500,000, they almost credit you back an amount, but we were at like, say, 496. So for some of those larger claims, so we just were shy of that, which didn't help us either. So, but we can certainly take a deeper dive into that. I don't, I've heard or how much it would shift every year, but
How many people?
it's always an option.
How many people do you all have under this plan, under currently what you have on
Let me check, because
Okay.
it would include their dependents also.
there? Okay,
Because we have 121 employees
okay.
under the plan, but we would have to look at their,
What their dependents are.
Jessica, once you look at, the starting salary now is what?
51,594.
51,594?
And what's, back on the insurance, what's the individual premium pay? Like, it's different for each plan, I guess you
Yeah, it's
pay.
different for each plan. A single person, it's covered.
And what's,
It's
you know, what the,
single.
basically, let's say that basic plan, what the school district pays per individual person?
So the high deductible plans, we pay, if it's just the employee, we pay the premium.
And how
And then
much
we
is that
deposit
for-
$59 into their HSAs.
How much is that premium per year per member?
Let me look it up.
And this is part of the healthcare crisis in this country. It's just
Per year would be about $83,000.
$83,000 a year per member.
That's how much the school pays?
What was that?
So
8,300.
that's,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. That is for a group of them. I have it like per the group of people. I apologize.
Don, do you know what our individual member premium is?
So the individual is $744
$7,000.
$744 a month.
That's the individual contribution per employee?
That's
Okay.
for that high deductible plan.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere
Majority-
between $8,000 and $10,000 a member, depending on the insurance plan they pick.
Yeah,
Per
because
month.
are the majority on high deductible on?
No, we've had a major shift where most of the people that were on high deductible are now going to our key advantage, where they know what their
copay is when they go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So we have about 43 people that are employee only that are on the Key Advantage, which is the knowing what your copay will be. And let me see. About 60 people on the high deductible plan. Key Advantage is 69. So it's
59.
about 69. So it's about
69.
half.
And Jason, you asked me the county contribution comparable to what Kia mentioned per employee under the high deductible for the county is $9,072
Per year.
per year. And we have, let's see, 56, 7,
And the-
58, we had 58 people on the Key
And the
Advantage.
non-high deductible, what was that, would be your normal PPO plan?
No, the high deductible is the HSA plan.
What's the normal, I guess, the next plan up from that, or
The
the standard?
Key Advantage 500.
And what does that one cost?
That one costs, give me a second, I'll tell you what that is. $11,544.
This is a lot of money. So, I mean, when you add this up over years, it becomes really, kind of like compounding a lot of money. It'd just be really interesting to see that data of like what the insurance claims were total versus how much premium we paid and compare those two numbers.
The total health insurance premium paid by the county is $884,064 per
So
year.
roughly $1 million a year, let's just say, or when you add theirs, and you're looking at $3.5 million a year in insurance premiums.
Yeah.
And that's just for health insurance, so we're paying a lot of other premiums in insurance too.
We pay quite a bit of insurance premiums to VACORP for various
Yeah.
levels of coverage. And as Kia said, we have 58 people on the Key Advantage 500, and we have 12, 17,
Imagine
20 people on the,
We'll take a little bit of time to compile that data, but I think we really need 5 to 10 years to really be able to make a good comparison of how much we've paid in premiums versus how much was paid out on to our members' behalfs, medical needs.
Yeah, health insurance is kind of crazy.
This is another one of those things we're gonna have to start poking holes in, because most of the money is not going to medical care. It's going to pay insurance brokers, insurance premiums, and the
Yeah.
conglomerate that doesn't help anybody get better.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the testing in medical. The testing in education is eating up the funding that we need to go to teachers, and we're wasting a lot of money in insurance when it should be going to healthcare.
Does the
Disagree.
VSBA help at all with shopping for insurance plans?
VSBA, no,
Okay.
no. We use Mark III, who basically does that shopping for us, and Key and I kind of shopped around last year too, to see, if that was the best option for us, and we felt like it was at the end of the day. So we've talked, and Dawn and I have talked about, exploring the combining. And, like I said, I don't know if it would help or hurt, so we can certainly do some more digging and educating ourselves on it. Because this, I really am hoping this doesn't come back at 20%.
Just like, well, I
Typically
kind of
goes high,
expect,
but,
when it was 0 last year, I expected an increase this year, but
Yeah.
certainly not 20%.
yeah, no.
But they're making up for it being 0
Yeah.
from last year. Because you said yours will be single digits,
If
I
you
think
think
our
about what
jaws
Don
dropped.
is saying, we had 10% last year.
and then single digits.
Even
so-
if it comes single digits, that may be 9. you
yeah,
know?
that's right. So it
Yeah.
could be, you average
So,
both years together.
Yeah.
It's close
the
to,
same
yeah.
thing.
Well, it seems like we were, maybe 2 years ago, when we were able to increase the salaries, do I recall that we were able to get our starting salary at the highest level in the Northern Act?
Yeah, we were,
Are we still
yeah,
there?
and we're still comparable,
So
definitely.
people, the other counties have caught up and exceeded
So
us?
it's like a bounce back and forth game, always it is, because we're so close. When we get them ahead, we're ahead a couple $100 or
Okay.
$1,000. So as soon as someone else gets a big bump, you kind of go back and forth. So, and The longevity bonuses that I'm going to propose to you tonight, I think will be very appealing to staff as far as income as well, so. But yeah, you bounce back and forth. 2 years ago, we got up higher, I think we were even higher than Stafford.
Yeah.
We had a big increase that year.
We had the
So,
reassessment that helped us. And
Yeah.
Northumberland will probably take advantage of that this year.
But we're not falling below, we're hanging in there right now, so.
Okay.
So these are just initial numbers, just to kind of give you a big picture of what we're looking at. And that 343,000 obviously is a big chunk of money, and that's to cover all of the increases for all staff as well. I'm going to talk about the longevity bonuses in a minute, and then we are still working on getting some, I don't think we'll have an exact number, but more accurate numbers as to the savings for, now that we're going to have geothermal at the new school, that propane will have a savings there. And then when the solar panels go in, which it's looking like fall, that will be a hefty decrease as well, because we should come in at almost nothing for our electrical cost once the solar panels are in. So we're reaching out to kind of get a better feel for what those numbers might be. So as I say, we're still working on these budget numbers. These are some numbers that we just don't have yet definitively. So in the budget that where we stand right now, we haven't reduced those numbers yet. So those cover the increases in salaries. They cover the health insurance. And the other piece that would be an increase in cost are the longevity bonuses. So I'll walk you through those, and then we're gonna kind of come back around again. So if you go to slide 3, and then we'll pop back to the others. So this is a proposal for something that would be new. I believe would be the first county to do this. And it's investing in our staff who are high performing and are here long term. So the basis behind it is with this proposal, it would help us retain effective teachers and licensed staff long term. It allows us to raise the bar and raise expectations while still having staff that wants to kind of give that extra piece, because there'd be something in it for them to work towards. And raising that bar is a challenge. And we're raising it everywhere. We're raising it in our nutritional program. We're raising it in our upkeep of the buildings because they're newer, they look nicer, across the board academically. And so, and the educational demands are high right now. I mean, they are. So this would be a pure investment in our licensed staff. So what this looks like, and this is just for certified or licensed staff, this would be for teachers, nurses, school counselors, speech pathologists, those that have to acquire a licensure through the state of Virginia. So the longevity bonus would be, for example, at 5 years of consecutive service to LCPS in a licensed, certified position with either effective or highly effective evaluation for that year, you would get a bonus that year. It would not be pushed into your salary. It would be a bonus on top of your salary. So it wouldn't change any VRS, but it would be something that you received each year. At year 5, meeting those criteria, you would get a $2,000 bonus at the end of the year. Year 6, if you were still meeting all that criteria, you would get a $2,000 bonus. Year 7, if you were continuing to meet that criteria, you would get a $2,000 bonus. Same for year 8 and for year 9. So you would have to have been consecutively working in Lancaster County Public Schools with a license and be performing at the top half of that evaluation. Okay?
The
And-
criteria you're talking about, that's criteria is set by,
So we have an evaluation system that has 8 standards in it. And it's a process throughout the year, and at the end of the year, you get a summative evaluation. This would not be based on like test scores, this would be based on those 8 standards in that evaluation. They set goals at the beginning of the year, and they're monitored throughout the year. So, and that's why the certified staff piece, they all go through that process.
and it's monitored by your staff or monitored?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the criteria, though, is the consecutive years at LCPS, also meeting the requirements of that evaluation at the top tier. So the years are important. They have to be there, those consecutive
But it's not
years.
merit-based, it's not based on success of students in the classroom? Or
Well,
is it-
there is a standard that is academic success, but that's not, they set goals in the beginning of the year per their children, based on growth. It wouldn't be like if all your kids pass the SOL. So that's a portion of it. So, you have 20 kids, and this is the expected growth for each of those kids based on those student data sets. That's where it comes in, but that one piece alone isn't solely what their evaluation's based on. It's 8 different standards.
Okay.
So, and then the next piece, if you got to the 10th consecutive year with effective or highly effective summative evaluation, then your annual bonus would switch over to $5,000. So at year 10, you would get a $5,000 bonus, at year 11, a $5,000 bonus, and that would go through year 14. So you're still going if you're performing well, you're meeting all your criteria, and you've been consistently employed with LCPS.
And this is in addition to the 1.5% step?
Yes, this would not affect the salary at all. This would just be a bonus.
Okay.
So each year, the salary scale would change, but this would be on top of that.
Jessica, this is something that they also do in one of the cities in Pennsylvania, is it?
In Pennsylvania is where I got the idea from. Pennsylvania, they have like a big bump year. Year 15 in education, you get like a $25,000 bump or something. It's massive. But it gives you that you want to get to that next place, and you want to be performing well, and you want to meet the expectations and raise the bar and stay committed. So then you get to year 15, and if you're still performing well, you're not on a teacher improvement plan or some kind of improvement plan, and you've been here for those consecutive years, at year 15, you get a $7,500 bonus. Year 16, a $7,500 bonus. Year 17 through 19. And then at year 20, and I goofed on this slide, where it says year 20, it should say, the years should change to 20, 21, and so on. At 20 plus, it would go to 10. So the beauty in this proposal is that our staff who are performing well, and they're meeting our expectations as we continue to raise the bar, because we are continuing to raise that bar as we move into this world of CTE paths and increasing rigor and all of these pieces. We can raise that bar, and people aren't going to be like, I'll just go teach online. I'll just go do something else, because you want to get to those bonuses and those bumps. So you're getting compensated for your extra effort. And if we have long-term teachers, if we're investing in this and they're making it to the 15, 16, 17, 18 year, we want them here. These would be folks who are performing well, who are meeting all of our criteria, helping us move forward as a division. So it's an investment, because even if, we have trouble not just keeping people, we have trouble keeping young people here, as we all know. So this is enough of a game changer that you might drive an hour to get here. I mean, you could use this for an annual vacation. You could use this to pay for Christmas. You could use this to pay for your kids' college, pay off a loan, something. But it's the longer you're there and you're performing well, that bonus is going to increase. So like I said, if we have an employee who's performing well and they're here 20 years, that was an investment that we've kept them here.
What
So-
percentage of your staff would qualify for that, that excellent category as
So-
of now?
Good question. You put the numbers on here, is that on the last page?
It's the last slide.
The last slide gives you the number, I think, of staff you have
There
in
we
those
go.
years, but
Yes.
I think the question Bill's asking, if I get it right, is, if we had this today, what percentage of the staff would qualify for any of this?
Is that what these numbers
So
are, I think,
these
right?
numbers are how many staff are in those
Age
bars
group.
right now.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay?
So I'm at like, in grades 5 through 9, you have 12 staff members that
Not
have.
grades, in years 5 through 9.
Oh, okay.
We have 12 staff members.
Out of
who
how
have
many?
Been here 12 staff members who have been here consecutively that would be in that 5 to 9 year range.
So all 12 are performing
Well-
above level?
There would be a couple in there that,
So
So that's what, that's
So
what I was
just a-
that's,
asking. Yeah.
so this
I think we're
is,
asking for the percentage, like, so if there was 12 staff members that got it and there were 5 staff members out of 5 through 9, that would be X percent.
right.
Correct? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I just wanted to know an idea. Well,
So-
that also tells us how well our staff is
Or doing?
performing.
so yes, then, so 12 staff members would meet the criteria for years 5 through 9.
And I'm
right
guessing
now.
these were based off last year's summative evaluations?
Yes. Yeah, and they can change.
Yeah.
So there could be a change here and there, but these are fairly close numbers to where we are. And to be able to do this right now for FY '27, it would be around $215,000. So, you know, I personally, so
What if
as
we,
an educator, as a teacher, as a nurse, this would be enough of a difference that it could impact something for you. And all around, allowing us to raise the expectations, allowing people to feel compensated too, and investing in them, to me, it's a no-brainer, but
It's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
It's challenging in
It's-
coming up with a budget because that changes so much.
It would change, and you would have to look at it every year, and we could kind of map out the next few years where that would be if, say, everybody was on track and performing where we wanted them to.
But this is a way that we can keep good personnel, continuity for our students, which we want, not a bunch of changes. I feel that it's a no-brainer.
Well, what's disturbing is that we only have 8 members in the 20-plus. Is that because we have a lot of underperforming staff members, or
We
have they
have
all left?
a lot of young teachers. So we have, the majority of our teachers are young, they're in that 0 to 5 years. Many of them are, they're here, they're working on those years, they're from here, they live here. And we want to keep them versus bringing someone from somewhere else. We will bring someone from somewhere else, and that's worked out good for us a lot of times, but we want to keep them here, and they're working on their teaching license right now. So many of them are in the classroom, and they're working on their license. We're hoping that they'll be like year 3 by the time 2 or 3 by the time they get their full license. We would include them in this. So when they get to 5, it makes them want to stay here. Instead of going to a neighboring county or moving somewhere else, they can work towards these steps.
do we
But it
know
would be
the
a
average,
commitment.
average age of our teachers? Like,
I don't know if I could answer that, the average age. We have a lot of young, so I would guess, you know,
or average
early
experience, I
to
guess?
mid-20s, low.
Yeah.
Low. And compared to the state, our teachers have much fewer years of experience because we do have a lot of young people. It's very encouraging to know that there's a large number of them who live here. They were born and raised here, and they're now coming in and teaching, which we haven't had in a very long time, and they're doing a very good job.
I was the last 5 years that I worked, I was involved in a program like this. And I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great because, you know, that's why I was asking about the criteria. You know, you gotta have things, but if you're working towards something, you know, oh, I'm gonna get $10,000 at the end of the year if these projects go like it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit more incentive. They didn't do it because they were trying to hold us. We already had 25, 30 years, but they were trying the quality of service, the quality of
Right.
whatever we was doing, you know,
Is
make sure
this-
that was there.
Well, I think that's
200
folded into here too,
Yeah, yeah.
because if you want that, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know.
Is
So-
this 215 included in these front numbers of local funding increases?
Yes.
Yes,
Also, we're asking a lot more of our educators,
yeah.
a lot more. And maybe this incentive would let them know that, yes, we appreciate you, we want you to stay, and it might make the difference. Also, we're on the cutting edge. We'll be the first people in the area to do this.
Yeah, so don't say anything.
We've
What
been
about
keeping
ma-
it close to us so that it doesn't.
What about also tying some of this maybe to overall budget spending performance? So like if we gave you X amount of money and you underspent it by X amount, that could help fund this bonus.
I'm sorry, I
Or
didn't.
add.
I'm
You all have a history of underspending your budget by quite a bit over the years. So if you could tie some of the performance of the overall school to paying for some of this budget. So if y'all do a really good job at efficiency of spending the budget that we give you and have extra money, that could help fund this or fund more money to those bonuses.
It could, I just don't know if the teachers are directly, that staff wouldn't be directly involved in,
No, that would be more of the overall
Yeah.
staff, like the budget people at the school board and
Yeah.
the central office to keep the budget as efficient as possible. And
yeah. It would, this to me though would have to be something we would, if we tell people we're doing it, we would have to ensure that those funds were there for it. Because we would tell it to them at the beginning of the year, just like you were saying.
Yeah.
You want them to know what they're working towards, you know, instead of just getting it at the end of the year and you don't have the return for the investment.
If my numbers are correct, the difference between option 1 and 2 is about $120,000, something like that. 120,
yeah.
huh? Is that right? Between option 1 and 2.
So, and an important part of this, so I just explained that longevity bonus, that's for our certified licensed staff. But we're raising that bar across the board with all of our staff. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a challenge. We have 2 new refreshed buildings, the elementary school and the ECEC. We're getting ready to open up the high school, which is gonna be beautiful and amazing. But keeping these buildings looking nice was something, definitely a learning curve for us when we went into the elementary school. So we're, you know, like a custodial job looked different 2 years ago here than it does now in our schools, and it will next year. We are expecting a lot, we need a lot, and so we're raising the bar for them. Our nutritional program, we've revamped that whole program, and the kids now have several choices, and they're getting fresh and raw produce every day, and, you know, we're bringing in salad bars, and we're asking all of our food service staff, they're no longer just pulling food out, they're cutting vegetables, they're cutting oranges, they're displaying all this. So, I mean, we're raising the bar for them, you know, so we have a better nutritional program, which has been a game changer. Our transportation staff is older, and we don't have many more years, and when they leave, honestly, I don't know what we'll do about transportation. So again, we're in dire need for them. It's our custodian, our instructional assistants that are in there working with the teachers. I mean, I've said this to everybody else, I'm surprised they show up every day because we are just like working them to the bone every day. So we're raising these bars to make these changes, and so they wouldn't qualify for these longevity bonuses, and they're not on that type of evaluation system, but we would like to adjust their salaries to give them an increase so that their salaries do increase they would increase more than a 2 or 3%.
The challenge
because
for
they
us
could
is
go
that
up.
we try to mirror you at the county level, so we would have to look at something at that level as well. Jessica, what is the roughly the monthly cost to Dominion Energy for our high school?
So we're.
Just an idea.
Kia can give you an idea. We're trying to fine tune some of those numbers because we get it in one bulk. So we're trying to divvy it up and figure out. We do think we have the energy numbers. Are you pulling up that one chart? Okay, Kia will get that.
What is it? Is it 15 or 20,000?
Yeah.
15.
All right, so
About a month.
say 15,000. And Don, I heard you throw a number out recently about what it's costing to heat and cool the primary school, and that was about 12,000 a month.
No, not 12,000.
It was-
No.
how much- what
Oh,
was it?
It's like 2,500 a month
Oh, it was?
for the
Okay.
electric bill. We have the, thermostats cut back there.
So we're looking at possibly, that could be 200,000+ in savings, because you're saying that we shouldn't have any energy.
Yeah, when the
Bill from the new
solar
school.
is in place, that will be a significant,
So
Cost
that's quite a bit
reduction.
of saving to us.
About
Yeah.
150,000.
yeah, about
Okay.
150,000. So,
Okay.
and that's not taken into account yet in these numbers.
We will own that solar system though, correct, though? That will be,
So,
Oh,
that's a great
how
question.
is that, because if we
With
own it, we have to
Dominion-
at least assign some of that money to make ongoing maintenance for that system.
We bought
So
that
this was a big-
system. We had the option of renting, but I thought we decided to
I
buy
think,
that.
because we was talking about, how we was gonna maintain it, 'cause
Yeah.
we gonna own that system.
Yeah.
We gonna
Yeah.
own it, and I think we was talking about contracting the maintenance or
Right, we
something
went
like that.
back and forth on
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that should be, I mean, eventually down the road, that should be bringing money in
Yeah,
too.
it should definitely save some money, but we
So-
definitely gotta take some of that
But
savings and
it's
set aside
instantly-
for ongoing maintenance.
Yeah, instantly,
replacement.
as soon as those are up and go, I mean, that's an instant savings. So, and a significant one. So, we have to factor in like July, August, September, maybe October in there because those should be installed in the fall. But once they're in the rest of the year, that's a savings. And the geothermal also brings the savings with the no more propane, so. And that's roughly, I think, $30,000. Yeah, roughly 30,000. So we're still working on these. I would love to say we'll get it down to zero, but I can't make that promise, but we are still working on all of them. There are some other things that we really want to do next year to continue to move forward with our CTE and our career pathways, but we're really utilizing grants to get some of those things in place. So, we're doing a lot of shifting, a lot of cutting and scraping already to get the new steps that we have to take to continue to make that progress for next year as well. So there are some cuts, but they're replaced with something else. These numbers are based on investing in our people. And we have some really great people, but we need to continue to raise that bar and set ourselves aside so we can keep people here and raise that bar.
I see you have a note that special education is increasing. Is that because of we have more special needs kids in our system?
Yes, that's one reason. We have our special education numbers are growing, and the transportation for our special education students is a very large increase in spending between drivers, cars, fuel. It's a significant increase that we really didn't plan for, but it's happening, and it's across. We're not alone in it. It's kind of widespread, but it's an increasing cost, steady increasing. So I don't see
Does
it
every
plateauing.
special needs child have an IEP? Or these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, we're a part of the Northern Neck Regional Special Education Program with Richmond County. We share some services and resources. you know, our numbers in that program are increasing as well. So that's something we're gonna have to,
Do we know what's driving these
Consider.
increases?
I can't say I do. Mm-mm. There's all kinds of theories, you know, our numbers are increasing at very young ages, 3 and 4.
Because this seems
We've
very
had kids-
problematic.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, I don't, just my opinion, I don't see it plateauing anytime soon. So
Not in these
we've watched it
conditions.
steadily.
We read articles where doctors are so quick to diagnose problems when maybe there are, I mean, there are problems, I know there are, but maybe not special needs problems.
Yeah, so internally, we do a lot with that in professional development and educating on our end too about what all we can do between that time before we move to that eligibility phase. And we have an excellent director of special education right now who is very good at those layers in there. So I do feel like we're pretty thorough in what can we do first to see if there are kind of like that child study process.
So do we have
Before we
kids
get to
that
budget.
that graduate out of IEPs?
Oh,
Or is-
sure,
oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
Do we track those kinds of data too, like how many kids start on IEPs and then go off of
Oh,
them?
we have
or-
that data, yeah, absolutely. So, and we're seeing more severe needs too, so. And there was another slide that I said I'd come back to on here. Yeah, the special education, you know, we're really looking at the grounds and maintenance and custodial needs for the new school. We don't yet know, we've never taken care of a building that big. And so
You're
we're
gonna need somebody
gonna,
good at washing windows.
Yeah.
For sure.
yes, yes. So, and that's a perfect example. But, you know, there's 3 floors and there's big stairwells and we'll figure it out, but we're gonna have to learn it. We're gonna have to learn of what all it takes to upkeep that building because, I mean, I'm certainly not turning over a building when I'm not in this position with scuffs and marks and crud. I mean, I want it to stay pristine, and that's hard to do. It's hard to find people who will do it, and it's hard to do because we've never done it. So,
I'm glad you mentioned people, because I was sitting here thinking, you know, you raise the expectation, but all the people, and you probably, if you haven't started, probably, you know, start with what is gonna be expected of those people in the new building, you know, I mean, because, you know, maybe they don't want to do it, you know, maybe,
Right.
you know,
And
and you
it's
gotta go
entire process.
looking for new people.
yeah.
Because they may say, well, I don't want to do this.
Is our custodial in-house or do we sub that out?
We're in-house. I have been talking to a company that, they don't bring their own people in, they work with our staff. Now, of course, if we lost a staff member or we let a staff member go, they would help us fill it if we wanted them to. It was very appealing because they can help us with grounds and maintenance and figure out how to take care of that building, but I'm waiting for a quote from them right now, and I don't think it's gonna be something that is gonna be realistic right now, but down the road, this year, we are gonna learn some lessons, I'm sure, in that building, and have to prepare for them differently.
Jessica,
Yeah.
Westmoreland would be a good source because their building is
Yeah.
very similar to our building and they went through the same problem.
Yes.
Transitioning from that
I
old
talked to
building.
her, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, because they weren't used to big buildings
No.
either, so, and it's a change. So we learned in the first year in the elementary school, you know, you go into the building and you're like, it looks filthy because everything's white and it's so nice and then, you know, you kind of lose your cool on it and you figure out how to, and then you know, you have to make some staff changes and see who's willing and everything, but, and so like I said, we've learned a lot. That building looks really nice right now. We had to add the plastic plexiglass over the big photos on the walls because they were an investment in themselves. We didn't know to put the plexiglass on them, but if we waited another year, they would have been ruined. So it's just stuff like that. We're gonna have a lot of lessons next year, and, you know, we'll learn it and we'll figure it out, but we don't really know how to exactly plan for it yet, so,
These are all good problems because we're growing.
yeah, yeah, so,
I think one of the main things is, you know, making sure the expectations are driven home to the people. You know,
Yes.
you expect them to do it, and then, you know, somebody's got to be in charge to see that it's being done that way.
right.
You know,
And that's why helping with the salaries of the non-certified staff is so important too, because we'll find someone who's willing to do the job or clean really well, but they're not coming for what we're paying them. You know, so they need to know that we're investing in them too, that, you know,
Are those hourly employees or salary?
no, they're salaried. The majority are salaried.
What's the starting salary for a custodian?
Well, we've got that right here. Hold on a second.
That's the lowest paid one.
Oh, so the lowest paid one is in here, and that's 26,698. So, and you know, we've had our ups and downs with our custodial staff, and we've had to make some uncomfortable adjustments, but we're getting better at it. You know, for example, this week with clearing the lots and everything, we had a phenomenal staff out there, our maintenance and our custodial staff was out there. And last year we were calling them in and they were like, no, I can't come in, I can't, no one shows up and there's 3 people, you know, so we're, being able to raise that bar is crucial. And we can't do it if there isn't something that stands out between us and another job. It's just what it is.
Jessica, what are the ages? Is it a widespread age range of our custodians? Because I know the bus drivers are older. Where are we with our bus?
They are, most of our custodians are younger, on the younger side right now. We have one that is probably going to retire this year. But the majority of them are younger right now. So it's a tough job. It's a physically tough job. And we're gonna ask a lot.
You said the starting salary was 26.
No, that's our,
Lowest?
yeah, okay, yeah.
Lowest paid and starting.
Well, Jessica, you are the manager, you run the school system, you're the person that changes that job
Yeah.
amount, so it just sounds awfully low.
Yeah.
I don't know how they survive off of that, so that would be one of my priorities if I was superintendent.
Yeah, and that's why we want to shift their salaries as well. And not just custodians, but like I said, our food service and our buses and our IAs. I mean, honestly, we couldn't operate without any of them. They're all crucial and they're all being asked to do a lot.
Well, let's make
I
that
mean,
happen.
The requirements are steadily increasing and the pool of people to choose from is steadily decreasing.
Yes.
And that's the biggest problem that we have in public education, and we have to solve that problem.
And I think it's
And-
important, like, the reason why I even asked about the age for the custodians is because what I'm learning with the new generation of younger people, they're not as loyal to jobs as we were.
Right.
No, because the jobs aren't loyal to them. They know that
Yeah,
if something
but
gets started, they're
they'll
gonna
be-
get laid off, so why they're gonna give, they're not gonna give loyalty to somebody who
They're-
doesn't give
yeah, they're
loyalty
just
back,
like-
so,
They'll leave.
yep.
Yeah.
Looks like, you know, they go in and they're making X amount of dollars, they've worked a year and a half, 2 years, they have that experience. And there's a job somewhere else that's now gonna pay them 75 cents more job, you know, for the job an hour.
People are a lot more mobile too. Younger folks aren't tied to a particular place necessarily.
That's what I was trying to say.
Their
like,
home is more flexible than the
Yeah.
generations past, so
Yeah.
you're facing a lot of different kinds of headwinds, but across the country, where it's a dog chasing its tail that's unsustainable, that anywhere, you can't just keep adding $1 million here, $1 million there. We've got to find a way to take what we've got and stop spending it on stuff that's not doing any good. Just as I said, in medical, we're spending a lot of money on insurance, and that's not helping people get better. We're spending a lot of money on testing and bureaucratic stuff that's not helping our teachers, it's not helping anybody, and it's just fleecing taxpayers. And we keep having these same discussions, and the taxes keep going up, and the bills keep going up, and everything else keeps going the other way. Less teachers and more problems and more discipline, and something's got to give here, and somebody's got to realize that what we're doing is not going to work, it's not going to be sustainable.
I think investing in our people,
Yeah, that's the best thing we can do.
and that's what this budget really has pushed, is investing in people.
I like the idea of the longevity
I
bonus.
think that's a good idea too.
I think it will help with the 30-year plan or whatever, 25-year plan with the county of keeping the younger teachers, so then they're gonna have their families here, then I think it's gonna help with that, because when Wyatt was in school, I remember he said, I asked him if he liked his teachers, he said, what does it matter, they're gonna stay here and then they're going to Pennsylvania, back to Pennsylvania, that's what he would say. And I mean, he was right, they'd come down for a couple of years, so if we can change that, I think it would definitely help this area tremendously.
And if I'm not mistaken, Pennsylvania's had to change their ways too,
You know, they're
because
not-
they wouldn't hire you unless you had 3 to 5 years' experience, so they'd come here, get their 3 to 5,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they'd leave.
Yeah.
Now they're taking everybody that comes out of school, because they're like we are,
Yeah.
looking for teachers.
Because all those
Yeah.
boomers that are aging out are retiring now, and it's
Yeah.
only getting worse for them too,
Yeah.
and
Well, a
Just-
big piece of it is people aren't going into education anymore.
Yeah.
True. That's
So,
right.
so that's really, they're not as in dire need as we are for teachers, but they are producing less teachers. People aren't going into education. I mean, we went to
who
a
wants to
job fair,
spend
they had one
$100,000
graduate.
plus to take a $40,000-$50,000 a year job? That's not very good math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
you're
and
not, I don't want those people teaching my kid, because they're not very educated if
Yeah.
they're like making those decisions, because that's financially like
then- Yeah,
a bad decision.
it is.
Weren't you a
So-
teacher?
Yes. And I didn't rack up $200,000 worth of
But I
loans.
will tell you, it's
of schooling
different
either.
now. I mean, educators get ridiculed, they're constantly being threatened to be sued, you know, you can't do, I mean, it's unbelievable, honestly. It is not like it was.
College is getting to the point of expenses where only about 3
Yeah.
careers out of it are worth paying the course they're
That's true.
going to pay for it.
That's true.
I mean,
You're gonna spend your entire life paying back the,
And we
student
raised,
the
like,
loan.
we're at 50,000, and 50,000 is a wonderful number, but when you look at how expensive everything is now, like, and I'm not being exaggerated, it's high, food is high, like, canola oil was like $8, no, olive oil, because you know I'm trying to eat healthy, it was like $8, I went right on back to canola, like, so, and I have a degree, and I have a good job, so even though we're like 50,000 is a decent number, where does it really sit within how, what our people have to pay out on top of college loans?
yeah, cost of living.
Yeah. And rent is crazy.
Jessica, tell me about your evaluation system. Is the tool that you use, is this something that you came up with yourself, or is it something from the
No.
state?
It's from the state, but we have adjusted it over the years to meet our needs, but it's based on the same 8 standards that come from the state.
Okay,
And there's a whole process, and we train our administrators in it every year. You know, you set the goals in the beginning of the year based on your student data of the students that you're teaching. And then, you know, you put your steps in there of how you think you're gonna meet those goals and where you're gonna go. And then our administrators are doing evaluations and walkthroughs throughout the year and having conversations. And then mid-year, they have a conference. Where are we with meeting our goals? Where, and, you know, we're like very data-driven now anyway, so these conversations are happening throughout the year too, but that's a formal sit-down one, administrator and staff, and then, you know, continue that evaluation and observations, and then at the end of the year, you get a summative evaluation, and there's a rating scale that's tied to that. And, you know, we firmly believe in, coaching up as well, so we have teacher improvement plans that are put into place. You know, at any given time, we have multiple of them going on, and that's to help someone improve in an area. And that's a much closer relationship and more frequent.
so if they miss one of those 8 standards, are they on some type of probation?
Not necessarily. It's a number rating system, so they could score higher somewhere and lower somewhere, and you come out with one number that puts you into one of 4 categories at the end.
And that's what you'll use for the bonus?
Yeah, so there are 4 categories, so it would be the top 2 categories.
Okay.
And say you were a staff member who was effective and then something, you know, if you're put on an improvement plan, there's something going on. You don't just end up on it. Then you wouldn't get that bonus until you corrected whatever it was, which we
And
need
how
people to do.
long, how long do they have to make that correction?
I mean, it's different based on whatever the changes that needs to be made, or the area that needs work on, or, you know, how long people take to be coached. So some people don't, they quit because of it. It's just, but some people really take it in, and that's a whole process of what do you need, what can we help you with, and we try to correct that. We try to help someone correct that.
Good.
So,
It looks like this incentive ought to give them a lot of reason to strive for that.
I hope so. I think they're pretty.
Looks like it to me.
Especially once you get up there in years. I mean, a $10,000 bonus is a pretty good bonus per year.
Yeah.
It is noticeable.
I mean, that's noticeable.
And when you get to those years, you should be
Yeah.
you should be be really effective at what you do. So, those are kind of the highlights of initial numbers, like big picture pieces. Do you have any questions or anything that we can answer or talk about?
The only question I have is just to continue refining how much we're spending on the accountability system in total.
We will.
How much of this budget is going to fund the SOL system?
And we've taken a close look at that. A lot of.
Because it's not an easy number to get at, because you got to think about staff time and all these different variables that go
Yeah.
into add up to that number, but it's going to be pretty high.
And that's, well, the money number isn't exactly high, it's the time and the effort.
Yeah,
And
so you
some of
gotta-
that, you can't even get that number.
You've got to
because-
calculate a bit, basically, you got to take the salary of the teacher, and how much percentage of the year are they spending doing that, so that's going to be part of the number. And then all the nuts and bolts, all the programs, all the extra people you have, all those pieces to it as well.
But what do we
Yes.
do?
It's gonna be a very large number.
What's the end result of that? What are we doing with that? Because if SOLs drive our school day, which they do,
They do.
then
We have to start showing that we're spending a lot of money on this, and the taxpayers are not getting the benefit out of it.
And I disagree with SOLs. I disagree with all of it, but until we get rid of them,
Well,
this is what we're
the
doing
only-
every day. We're driving this SOL.
So, and there's a close, it's hard to pull the testing cost out of the instruction cost, because we're teaching SOLs, and then they're tested on them. We don't do a lot of, we're doing this just for testing. You know, like we got workbooks once that they had sample questions in it, and yes, that was an extra cost. But when we're teaching the SOLs, the time and effort is to the test, where when that testing window comes, people are being pulled from their schedule. And I wouldn't say we have any programs that are geared just towards testing. We have programs that are geared towards teaching SOLs, but not towards the testing. So it's kind of a fine line in there. When it's testing time, yeah, it's everybody's pulled, they can't do their regular jobs, they're testing, they're covering this, and, you know, it becomes, the time and energy is, if you could really match up a true number to that, that's where it would be.
Big.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could, because it's just,
And I don't
It's
think we're
just
ever to
like-
get, to your point, Bill, we're not gonna drive change until the public can see that what they're being asked to spend on this is not worth it, and we're not getting the value out of it. And so until we can start explaining to say, you know what, we're spending $14 million of local tax money, $7 million of that is going to fund the SOL system.
so SOL system or SOL testing system? Because two
The
different
SOL
things.
system in general, we're focused on a curriculum that then we're tested on relentlessly, and the state has continuously expanded this testing. We don't know, we don't know anything about it really. It's all corporate proprietary numbers and things, so there's no way for the public or anybody to vet that.
Yeah,
The public doesn't see the questions or the tests.
right.
I mean, I think how I feel is we live in a country that's capitalism. They figured out how to make money with testing, just like they figured out how to make money with insurance. And then you have us that just have to what, live with it? Because
Yeah, we gotta ask the
don't-
questions.
We don't want, I don't want insurance, I pay car insurance, house insurance, dinner insurance, life insurance, we pay all these insurances, right? But you gotta have them. And then, on the other hand, we don't, as parents, as educators, we don't want SOL testing. I make a lot of money off of SOL testing because you wouldn't believe the amount of kids that I see that have anxiety that we inflicted upon them for SOL testing.
And
So
that-
I don't think that anybody wants them, but when you get into a capitalism where you're making billions of dollars, then it's good to have the discussions here, but how do we impact it? How do we change insurance? How do we change the testing? Because that's the truth, because now we're fighting corporations.
So the
because
way
it's a
you,
money
the way
maker.
you change
You
the
get to
state
it by-
testing is lobbying at the state level, because.
Yeah, but you gotta have something to lobby on, so we need the
Yeah.
numbers. We need to go to this lobbyist and say, you know, we're spending a
But I
lot of
can't-
money, it's
I
not worth
can't-
it.
I can't say we spend a lot.
saying though, but the money part is fuzzy.
Yeah, I
You know,
can't
and-
say
and
we
you start
spend a
throwing
lot.
numbers out, you gotta have something to back it up. And you gotta-
Right, right.
You know, it sounds like me, it's all full fuzzy there, where.
It is fuzzy, and we sat down, we really did, and sat down and thought, I had several people, I said, I want you to think of everything that goes to testing that we pay for. And we generated a list, but it didn't come to a whole lot, because it's a cross between instruction and the testing, and we don't, and I will say, we do not teach to the test in Lancaster County. We do not spend the whole year drilling the test. When it gets here, we have to do it. Maybe that's why we're not high performing on it. I don't know. We teach the SOLs and the curriculum, and when the test gets here, we do prepare the kids. We have to. But we don't spend time or programs on preparing for the SOL test. We spend time and programs on teaching the SOLs. That's our curriculum. But the testing portion, time and energy,
Don't we have quarterly
anxiety.
benchmarks and stuff like that?
We don't do the benchmarks anymore. What we do is, we do testing throughout the year. But that's why you'll always hear me say this, we have multiple data points for every kid. The SOL, and I know I shouldn't, it's the least impressive one upon us. The other assessments we do to gauge a kid's reading level, their math performance. We pull out strengths and weaknesses and skills and use that for instruction, but the days of just trying to predict all year of where they're gonna be on the SOL test, we don't do it. And I'll tell any staff member that. I mean, yeah, we need it for accountability, so, you know, the public's like, oh, it's a failing school because they didn't pass their SOLs, but we don't spend,
But because the
Too
public
much
doesn't
energy
know
on it.
that the system's a scam. They don't know that the
And-
data's constantly being manipulated, they don't know all
Yeah,
this stuff.
and the
So
state-
it's up to our jobs, it's up to the school board to explain how this stuff works to the public and explain the
yeah. Well,
fact that they're
state-
getting fleeced.
The state pays for the testing, you know, the state pays for that. That probably is millions of dollars.
Yeah, and we pay
But the
millions of
state
dollars for
pays it.
computers and other things too, to take those tests on.
And that's where it gets fuzzy.
So
'cause
that's
we
a
use the-
cost.
Yeah, but we use the computers for so many other things too,
Of course,
you
but
know?
The other thing
where
that's
it gets
fuzzy is that
It's-
we could be spending $5,000 a child to meet that standard. Say, to throw that out there. But then you drive up to Ashburn, Virginia, or Loudon, and that number could be 1,500. So you have to look at where you are,
Yeah.
your students, and I don't know how you really come up with a good number.
I'm not a proponent of SOL tests, by any means. I have a lot of personal opinions on them, particularly in a small rural school division. I could go on and on. I don't like them, but we have to take them. It's the state assigned test in order to be an accredited public school in the state of Virginia. There's no way out of that. But there are states who are starting to request waivers from the U.S. Department of Education, waivers out of that state testing system. And I don't know enough about that, but I think it's, oh gosh, maybe Idaho, Iowa. There's a couple of states that have done that. But in order to change the SOL test itself would be making that change at the state level. We just don't have an option. We try to be very conscientious about not
it's gonna be
spending our
very,
year on the SOL
it's
test.
very hard to go to the General Assembly and lobby on anything but numbers,
Yeah.
because that's what really drives things.
Yeah.
And if we can really get down to showing the public that we're spending millions of dollars on this, it's millions of dollars being wasted, it's nothing but corporate welfare, it's not helping anything, and it's not an accountability system because it changes constantly, and there's no way to vet it, there's no way for us to vet those tests as taxpayer citizens. It's all corporate proprietary stuff, and that is not transparent, and it's unethical for taxpayers to fund something they can't vet.
Those numbers would probably be better, like pulling out the state, what they spend on testing, you know, in education in Virginia. Because I don't know if I could confidently tell the public that we buy the computers for the testing, because then if we said we were saving that, we still need those computers.
Jessica?
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
just
well,
an
I mean,
example, but.
It's not something necessarily that, like, what, yeah, we use the computers for a percentage amount of time, just like wear and
Yeah.
tear, like I would, like on a, like you bill in a company for materials and equipment, you wear and tear, so it's kind of like that. You gotta figure those costs out and
Right.
factor that in, and until I think the public realizes how much they're being asked to spend on this stuff, it's gonna be very hard to change it, because everyone just throws up, oh, it's accountability. We can't do anything about that because we gotta have accountability.
Yeah.
But if you don't really have accountability, it's just a front, an ever-changing front.
Yeah, and that's our state
And that's what it
system.
is. It's an ever-changing
Right.
political front, and we gotta advocate that. Y'all need to advocate that. We need to say the things that I'm saying at every meeting, and so the word finally permeates out and people start asking the difficult, tough questions. Because otherwise, we continue to have these meetings year after year. We're gonna continue to chase, the dog's gonna chase its tail, and we're gonna continue to see these same problems continue to fester and get bigger and bigger until we reach a point where public education doesn't exist in the way it does today.
Jessica, thank you. We're getting down to the end of our time that we've
Okay.
got, because we've got our regular meeting starting at 7. So is there anything else you want to say very briefly to wind up, or?
Yeah, I mean, just, we have our next work session, is it February 26th?
Yes.
Okay. You know, we're gonna continue to work on numbers and pull numbers in on, you know, the different items that we mentioned, but we'll continue to work on this.
Great idea on this longevity bonus, so that's a really good thing.
We're
And,
really hoping we can.
At your school board meeting, you had the group that went on that VHSL thing. That was a great thing.
Yeah,
I encourage
yeah.
the school board to continue to fund those types of things and push kids into those things, and don't worry about the cost of those types of things.
And we are pushing those,
'Cause those-
because that's where we're going with the 3 E's.
That's what
and
our kids need, is experience,
We're laying the
life experience.
foundation for it now, but we need to build leadership skills and the pathways. So we will continue to work on these. Hopefully, when we come back in February, when we come back February 26th, we'll have more refined numbers. That's where would.
Do you mind sharing, how about at the next meeting, would it be too much to ask for you to share your evaluation system with us?
Yeah, I can share that with you. Would you like me to send it to you between now and then, just a copy of it?
If you don't mind,
That would be
we'll keep
good.
it
That'd
very
be good.
private.
Yeah, I can do that. Certainly. All right. Well, thank you.
All right,
for
thank you all.
listening and the good conversation.
Thank you all
Thank
for your
y'all.
time.
Thank you.
And Joan, do you want to adjourn your group
I
now?
do.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And we're
Very
going
much.
to recess until
Y'all
7.
can put that on my tombstone.
Yep. That and purple rain.
We're going to call the meeting back to order from recess with our budget meeting. And we'd like to start the meeting with our public input session. So is there anyone right now who would like to speak to the board? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Bonnie Dixon, Lancaster County Treasurer. After 5 long months, I would like to introduce you to Lancaster County's new Chief Deputy Treasurer, Lee Galding. She comes to us from Indian Creek Yacht and Country Club with lots and lots of experience. So I just wanted to introduce her to the board.
Well,
Congratulations, welcome.
welcome aboard. We're happy to have you.
Not as happy as I am.
I understand. Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Bonnie.
much. I'm going to stick around.
Is there any other public input? Glenn, is there anyone online?
No service, Chairman.
Okay, I move that the public input session is closed. All right, next item on the agenda is our VDOT report. David and Mike. I don't see David, so I think it's Mike.
Yeah, we all kind of
Stressed
recuperating a
out.
little bit. I believe David sent y'all a report. I don't tell you the truth, I'm just kind of, I don't even know what was on it right now.
You still iced over?
Yeah, it was, did anybody have any questions for Mike on the report that came out?
I'd just like to say this, I was looking at the brush removal part and that we've been talking recently, down months ago, has been taken care of, so you got some time to do that, so I'd like to say thank you for that.
Yeah, and that's always a problem in the county, and we'll continue, pretty much year round, just as soon as we can get back to it, especially this time of year, just try to stay on top of it. And some of the areas that probably are worse, the tree crew, they're on a docket to be done, and they just haven't got to it yet. But I think we're pretty close to that. I know Mary Point was one, and like I said, I can't remember now, but that is on the schedule to be done.
Mike, have you salted for this, in preparation for this upcoming storm, or is the salt down now enough to help with that?
So all the rest of the counties pretty much are still working. They were going to wait till midnight tonight to do the night shift, but we've pretty much been 24 hours until today.
Okay.
So, and there should be enough residual out there. And my biggest concern with what we got coming is the drifting, because if it hits this ice, it's going to drift, and every void is going to be chock full of snow. So we're going to be in worse shape with what we got coming and what we dealt with. But I've been today changing plow blades and checking them and checking everything over, and we'll continue to do that tomorrow just to make sure we're prepared, and we'll do the best we can.
What's your latest update on this one this weekend?
We had a weather call this afternoon. I think they were looking at maybe 4 inches down here. We're kind of, for the district, we probably, other than Saluda, but for Northern Neck, we're probably going to get the worst here this time. Fredericksburg might not even get anything, just depending on the track.
Gotcha. My question I had, it's just a personal question. I saw the Mary Point Ferry cable was replaced. How often do y'all do that?
That one probably gets replaced a little bit more than Sunnybank, but usually like once a year.
Okay.
We replaced the drive cable, it's probably 2 months difference between them, and we just hadn't had a chance to get back to do the other one, but like I said, maybe once a year.
Okay. Any other questions for Mike?
And we were gonna run the ferry today, but by the time he got it cleared off and got it started, then the tide kind of messed us up again, so.
It's been a chilly ride.
I think you guys did an exceptional job in the
Yeah.
storm, so you and your crew deserve a lot of credit.
I can't, take any credit for it, but I am very, very pleased with the contractors and my crew. I feel like, all in all, we did very well.
Yep.
Yep.
Good job. Well, thank you.
Yes, indeed. Y'all have a good one.
You too. All right, the next thing on the agenda, and it is under VDOT, is a resolution that we have in our materials to accept the Grace Hill subdivision streets into the state secondary system of our highways. Is there any discussion on that? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution that's proposed to accept Grace Hill subdivision into the state system.
All right, gentlemen, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item is consideration of granting a temporary construction easement to VDOT for the Route 3, and it's the Virginia State Highway 605, which is the Pinkersville intersection improvement smart scale project. You all have seen the info in there. Are there any discussion?
Move for approval.
Okay, we got a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think Mr. Cornwell had a question for us.
No, I just.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see
I just
you.
want to remind the board members to raise their hands so anybody online can see that as well.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I got one additional item for the VDOT agenda. In the several recent years past, you all have funded an additional litter pickup. You know that VDOT will do a litter pickup each time they do the mowings. Right now, I believe they're on a schedule where they mow the primaries 3 times and the secondaries twice. But you all have funded an additional litter pickup. I've got the cost for that for this year. If you choose to do it, the primary routes would be $7,330. Secondary routes, $5,481.60. My question is, do you all wish to continue this additional litter pickup? And if so, I'd ask that you make a motion to that effect. Typically, it's done around the 1st of March.
Yeah.
I think it's important we keep doing it because it gets really bad in that time of year since it's been all year, so I move that we continue it.
This in good with that? Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I'd
He
motion.
just,
Oh, you made it, I'm sorry.
No,
Told you y'all gotta get keep it straight. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And I didn't raise my hand. All right, next item on our agenda is our fiscal year-end 2025 audit with Jay, I hope I say this right, Sanudo.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm impressed. Good evening. My name is Jay. I'm a partner with Robinson Farmer Cox and the partner in charge of the county's audit. Hopefully you all have my notes. As I go a little bit quickly, the things I have to kind of hit. You can tell me to stop at any point and ask a question, or you can wait to the end and ask questions. Or, again, after I leave, if you have a question, people at the county have my email address. You can always shoot me an email. I'll start on page 1. This is our audit opinion. We're giving the county what's called an unmodified opinion, which means these financial statements are materially correct. There is a restatement of beginning balances, and I will go through that in a little bit later. Page 12, this is Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1 and 2 are financial statements on the full accrual basis. Usually I tell boards, this isn't a real good way to tell the health of the county for the fact that these accrual has adjustments from the state for like VRS and OPEB, things that you all have no control over. With that being said, we do show the balance sheet has a net position of about $25.9 million, which is an increase of about $5.4 million from the prior year. Pages 13 and 14, again, this is the income statement on that full accrual basis with those adjustments made by the state for VRS and OPEB. It does show a net increase of $5.4 million for the year. Page 15, this is Exhibit 3. These exhibits I'm going to go over now are better exhibits for yourself and for the citizens to look at to see the health of the county as these exhibits are on the modified accrual basis, which is how the county keeps their books. Exhibit 3 is essentially the balance sheet for the county. It does show that the fund balance at the end of the year was $50.5 million compared to $69 million from the prior year, so a decrease of about $10.5 million. But your unassigned fund balance was $8.6 million, which was up from $7.5 million from the prior year. Unrestricted cash and investments at the end of the year was $12.2 million, which is down a little bit from the prior year of $13.4, while restricted cash and investments was $13.5 million, down from $57.9 million the prior year. Page 17, which is Exhibit 5, is the county's income statement. Revenues were $46.5 million, which is up $10 million from the prior year, but this is mostly due to the increase from the state for the, specifically for the school construction grant. Pages 19, 20, and 21, which is Exhibits 7, 8, and 9, these are the sewer fund. I just like for the board kind of look at it, and the citizens just see how well the sewer funds are doing, but those financial statements. Beginning on page 44, this is our note on, your note on long-term debt. I do like to talk to the board about this so the board can do some planning about their debt and the citizens can see the debt of the county. The county currently has $5.8 million in long-term debt, and there's $76.6 million in long-term debt associated with the school board. And pages 45 through 48 show the timing of the debt payments through the year 2057. Page 93, this is a restatement of the beginning fund balance I was telling you about. Government accounting boards adopted a new standard where all localities have to essentially have compensated absences the same way. A lot of other places, you all may have, somebody can leave and take some when they get terminated, can take some leave with them, while other localities can't. So for Lancaster County to be able to compare to Orlando, Florida, the government accounting boards kind of made where everybody has to put compensated absences on the same way, accounted for the same way. So that's why there's a little bit of a restatement, just to get in line with that new accounting standard. Also on page 93 is a subsequent event note discussing the issuance of bonds after the end of the fiscal year. Pages 113, which is Exhibit 29, this is the school board's balance sheet again. I'm not presenting the school board, but I do like to show the county board of supervisors the balance sheet for the school board. And then page 114, which is Exhibit 30, this is the income statement for the school board. The county made contributions to the schools of $12.4 million for the fiscal year. Page 122, these next schedules I'm going to talk about, I think these are the most important schedules for you all and for the citizens to look at, because what it does is it compares what you budgeted for your revenues and what you budgeted for your expenses compared to what actually happened. Page 122, which is Exhibit 1, this starts the revenues. And page 124 of that, still on the same exhibit, shows the county budgeted revenue of $38 million, and the county received $46.5 million. This is $8.4 million more than the budget, but again, that was mostly due to the school construction grant, which is, I think it was like $7.5 million. Page 128, which is Schedule 2, this starts the expenditures, compared the budget to the actual. And you'll see on page 131, the county budgeted for $80.5 million for expenditures and spent $71.4, so positive variance. But that was mostly due to the construction budget, the school construction budget in FY24, but not completed, as well as some less spent on health and welfare that was budgeted for. Page 141, this is our report on internal controls. We have no findings, which is always good. Page 143 is our report on the compliance for each major federal program, and there were no findings. Schedule 146 is page 146 is a schedule of expenditures for federal awards. So the entire federal expenditures for FY25 was $3.8 million when you count in the schools. So that's how much money the federal government gave the county. Finally, page 149 is our schedules of finding and questioning cost. We audited one federal program, and the county is considered low risk because we have not had any findings in either of the past 2 years. And since I've been doing the audit, we have not had any findings. I've been doing the audit at least 5 years now. Are there any questions?
Any questions, gentlemen? Anything down this?
Any questions for us?
No, I would like to say that I like to see the treasurer's office getting staffed a little bit better. So that's a good thing.
I think our treasurer agrees with that also. All right, well, thank you for your info.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your work that you did for us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We need to move to approve it.
Yeah,
We
typically,
need to,
I make a motion
make a
that we
motion to
approve
accept
the
the audit.
audit.
do I hear such a motion?
I made the motion.
Bill made the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is an update from Travis on our school construction projects.
Mr. Chairman, appreciate the opportunity to come speak with you tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, January's been an interesting month for us. Started off real nice.
At least you're only working inside right now, right?
Yeah, this week's been a little slow at the site just based on the weather, but I've got a few slides that'll explain kind of what we got going on. Again, you can see a lot of trade partners in the building right now. We've got just about every trade that you can imagine, masons, electricians. But what you will start to notice in the coming months, we're working into the finishes now. So we're kind of getting away from concrete and steel. And you see cabinetry pop up, and you see some of these other subs coming on, and it's a good sign as far as we're concerned. So, yeah, this just gives you a snapshot of, all the different.
So they're already
people.
working on the floors, it seems like?
Yeah, and I've got a picture that'll show, it doesn't show real good, but it'll show you what we have completed in there, Jason. So this was my aerial shot in November. I always like to show this, just kind of give a quick snapshot on how far we've come. A couple things to note. Go back one, John. If you notice all the debris kind of around the site, that's one of the big things that's happened over the past few weeks is with the masonry sort of tightening up and most of the HVAC work done, the site's really starting to clean up a little bit, and it's looking better and better each week as far as that goes. And you can notice in this picture how they're still loading drywall. That's a drywall truck. I just happened to catch that when I was there. Some of these big materials, we're slowing down on those shipments, so they're able to tighten the building up. And so you can get to the next slide. So at this point, we're glassed in. There's a few things to pick up on this. You can see the tubes kind of running out of that second level, what we call level 1 in the building. That's the temporary heat going up into the building. What's important about that is we're off of level 0. So a lot of the work on the bottom level of the school, on the academic side, I would just guess we're probably 80–85% done on those sections, and the heat's going up into that level 1. So a big step for getting things moving in the school. We'll get to the next slide. This was the first week of January. We got real fortunate, had some 50, 60-degree days, and they were able to get some blacktop in at the site. This was a big deal for us. Had we not been able to do this, Dreamfields probably would have run me out of the county. They've been parking over there for the past 2 months, but it's allowed the guys to get closer to the site, less back and forth as far as that goes. So it's just more time in the school for the guys on the site. We'll get to the next slide. This was from yesterday. I took that shot, and it just shows how, it's able to, even with all the snow and ice, guys are able to get up close to the school and, without a whole lot of trash and stuff going on the road, mud coming out on the road. So it helps with that. We'll get to the next slide. This is one of the big moves we've had, is moving the existing high school bleachers from the high school over to the site. It was pretty neat to watch how fast that happened. They had them down within a week and probably a few days of moving them, and then back up within a week.
When did they install that up at the high school originally? It's fairly
I
new, isn't it?
believe they're about 20 years old.
Oh, it's-
Yeah, they're not, and that was one of the considerations. They were in such good shape. We didn't feel like we wanted to leave a good set of bleachers up there, and they really are in good condition. Every now and then you can see like a little nick or something on it, but for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's almost like having a brand new set of bleachers. The press box is new. It's It's a lot better than what we had. The old press box was rotten, so it was probably good that we took this opportunity to make this happen. It's divided into 3 sections up there, and each section's got its own sort of like mini split
And I guess,
unit.
does it look like you can get up on the roof of it too? Or?
You can.
And that's a metal building?
It is. It is.
Is that heated?
It is. Like I said, each room, it's kind of like thirded up.
Oh, you said it has a split system?
Yeah, each room has its own system, so,
Oh.
you know, they can adjust it however they seem fit. But it's going to be a big improvement.
Travis, I've been getting a lot of questions about the visitor side, and I've been trying my best to explain to them, but I don't think nobody's hearing me.
Yeah. The root reason for that is the stormwater management. So we were pressed up against the property line because of everything that flows, and you can kind of see it in this picture. You can see that storm drain on the right-hand side of the picture, how it flows down. Because of the stormwater management, we weren't given a lot of space on the visitor side. What we decided to do was extend that seating area on that side, and it's equivalent to the seating that we have on the visitor bleachers. If down the road, if we find that, you know, it's not adequate, we've got some things we can do, but we'd like to give this a shot and see what we can do. Chuck Parrish, he's going to do a good job, you know, sharing with people that we don't have that visitor bleacher on that side, so when teams come, they're not surprised by that. But there is a seat wall. There's a place to sit on that side of the thing. Admittedly, it's different, but having been to a lot of our football games, it's been rare to see the visitor side packed with fans. Hopefully that changes.
So where are they sitting?
There's a seat wall, and I can bring in a picture at the next meeting, Bill.
But it's not on the visitor side?
It's on the visitor side.
Okay.
And so it goes from the 30-yard line to the 30-yard line on each side. Basically, it's about as wide as the home stands.
Was it like a sidewalk or?
No, it's like it's a elevated wall. When I was explaining this to Don, it's sort of like what's up at Tech at the baseball field. If you've ever been to a baseball game at Tech, they've got landscape seating. So it's a sitting area. It's just like sitting on a bleacher. It's no different than sitting on a bleacher. It's just all on one level. It's not, it doesn't come up. But even that visitor bleacher side is elevated from the track. So I think once people get over there, and it's different. It's going to take some getting used to. But it's good seating on that side.
It's just one terraced seat.
Correct.
From the 30 to the 30.
Yeah. And what you will be, like, you know, once they've still got some landscaping to do over there, people will be able, you know, if you wanted to bring a chair and sit over there, you know, it's going to be wide enough you can set a chair up. So it's plenty of seating.
Will the height be as high as the first level on the home side? Or would it be higher?
No, it wouldn't be any higher than that first level.
But it wouldn't be any lower?
I hate to answer that. It'd be close. It would be close to that. Yeah, we can shoot, you know, we can get the grade on that, and I can answer that for you. But I would just guessing it's probably equivalent to that lower level.
I think bringing a picture of it at the next meeting might help us.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that, and I can show you the details, you know, what you know, that they were talking. And there's still a possibility, like, we can get the visitor bleachers. If it came too much of an issue, we can get them over there, but we're going to have to take some trees out.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying not to do with this seat wall, is remove any more trees than we have to. You can get to the next slide. So this is at the beginning of the month. It's work on the pump station. It's a pretty good shot. Shows, you know, some of the wells that they're putting in as the manholes. And without going into too much detail with that, it was just it showed, you know, the scale of those and what was involved with that. You can see where the building was at that point. They were still doing block work at the beginning of the month. And you can get to the next slide, John. And then, again, this is from yesterday. It doesn't show the building real great, but you can see how the trusses are on the building and how far they've come along with that. I found it was pretty interesting with the snow. It gives you a good idea about it. You can see how far they've disturbed the soil on the other side of Old St. John. The sewer connection is real close to those houses. The HOA over there has been notified that they're coming with pipe. They've actually got pipe laid out. It's hard to see in this picture, that extends over close to those houses. That probably would have happened this week had not been for the weather. So that connection will probably be made next week. Back to talking about the levels of the school, this is level 0. It just gives you an idea how far along. You know, they're real close to being able to drop ceiling tile. And to your point, Jason, about the floors, you can see how they've protected the terrazzo that's already been poured on that level. So both sides of level 0 have been poured. The center portion has not, but both academic wings on level 0 have been poured. Tile work in the restrooms, you know, so now we're starting to get into some finishes, and you're starting to see some of the more fine construction that's happening within the school. It's hard to see in this. I hope it shows up better on one of your tablets, but this is the auditorium, just to give you an idea how far along they've come with that. A lot of drywall was showing up yesterday to finish that space out, so that's moving along at a good clip. And what's striking to me about this picture, the reason I took this was a few months ago, I don't know if you remember all the stuff that was in the gym, all the HVAC equipment and stuff, that's been moved out and put into place, and you know, things are starting to fall in line, and it won't be too long, and they'll be working on the gym. They'll be able to move some of this equipment out and start working on the gym floors. Stairwells, handrails went in. Nothing real fancy about this, but you can see some of the detail, and also the fire main. You'll notice that in the corner of the picture. I took this picture. It's kind of weird. After I sent it to Don, I was probably shouldn't put that in there. But anyway, it's a Branch's new office in the building. They'll be getting out of their trailers, and they're setting up in the building. And what's important for us about that is just they're that much closer to be pushing and get things moving. So not as much time back and forth between the building and the trailer. They'll be on site, right in the building each day. Next slide. So last week we had our fire department from Kilmarnock, Brian Keyser, reached out to me about wanting to get into the building and see it and start to understand some of the systems and how the building's laid out. It was a good opportunity for them as part of their training to come in there and see that. I didn't get any calls. I figured at least 2 or 3 people would be freaked out about the fire trucks being out there. But we're planning to do this again in a few months once more of these systems get into place, and I'm sure I'll be reaching out to Matt about helping coordinate that with all the fire departments and EMS personnel, just so they're familiar with the building, know where to locate things, know where the hydrants are, where all the hookups are, and they appreciated it, and it was a good training night for them as well. Any other questions?
Any questions? No, good. Anybody? Everything's still pretty much on target for completion date?
Yes, we're looking good. It's probably looking like furniture is going to show up in May, late May, early June. And my hope is to be out of the current high school. Like, we want to be out on June 30th. So we're really pushing on that. And Don's, we're working through the coordination of that. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that just physically we're not going to be able to get to, just based on our manpower. But, we're looking forward to being in the building. It's a good move. One thing I will add, the county moved to NWP, oil and propane, and before the storm, I reached out to Wayne. We needed everything sort of topped off. There's a chance that the elementary school was going to be a shelter. Turned out we didn't need to do that, which was good. But they've been very responsive to us, and I just wanted to share that with the board. We appreciate their urgency in helping us out when we call them. So we weren't getting that with our previous provider. So did want to include that.
It's good to hear. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is county parks update from John. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just a quick update on our public parks projects. Westland Beach is now open. Phase 2 is complete, and Phase 1 just has a little bit left to do, including installing fish cleaning stations and then doing some supplemental dredge and beach nourishment, and then the dune revegetation. We're waiting for warmer weather for that stuff to get completed. Harper's Creek access is moving right along. Just showing some pictures that I showed you last time. These are really no changes to the site. We'll expect it to be more vegetated in the spring. There's our boat ramp and our fishing pier. So remaining site work, landscaping, obviously it's wintertime. The roadway pull-off, grading, gravel, right-of-way's been acquired. Construction estimates are going to be considered later in this meeting. And we're looking at completion targeting for spring of '26. And hopefully we'll have a grand opening ceremony around that time. Taylor Creek Park, pre-construction meeting was held today, I believe. Contract is signed. Notice to proceed should occur February 10th. Commence work February 15th. Substantial completion around September 23rd, and final completion October 13th. So fall opening. Hopefully we have some good weather for the opening of that park facility. Here's a picture of what our design is. Carter Cove Park update. The bid process is underway. Invitation to bid was sent out January 15th. There's a pre-bid meeting scheduled for February 13th with a bid opening hopefully at the March 13th board meeting. Bid opening March 13th with hopefully a contract award at the March 26th board meeting. Contract preparation somewhere between March and May, and then construction, the target is between May and February of '27. And just to show you what's been bid out with a aerial kind of underlay, this is our park, and you can notice the boat ramp, the addition to the fishing pier down there in the bottom corner, our Oyster Heritage Learning Center and bathhouse with ample parking, and our 88 canoe kayak launch down there at the very bottom.
What are those, it looks like 3 different types of piers. What are those different? I guess one's a boat ramp?
So at the very bottom of the screen, so to your right, is the 88 canoe kayak launch.
Okay.
Left of that is the ramp with a courtesy pier. And then north of that is the existing fishing pier with an extension to it. Any other questions about this image? Chesapeake Trail Park update. NEPA's still underway. It was initially submitted back in July, submitted to DCR in December. Bay Design Group prepared and issued improvements concept plan to support the NEPA review, and detailed survey and improvements design will commence after the NEPA's completed. And then this is a preliminary work on Chesapeake Trail master layout. Hills Quarter Tennis Park update. Obviously, considering 6 tennis courts and 6 pickleball courts, concept plan was sent out in July. Right now, the tennis park design's on hold pending MOU preparation and approval for the Northern Net Racket Association, Dream Chasers United, and River Roots Discovery Gardens. The Racket Association is currently applying for U.S. Tennis Association and U.S. Pickleball Association grants. Any questions there? Triway Trail, the construction focus is still on Phase 1B, which would bring the trail from Middlegate to Compass. That's our congressionally designated spending. RFP was just advertised, and I wanted to call out the help of Andrea Pruitt, our planner, who's been instrumental in helping us administer these federal funds. and getting these things out the door, so thank you, Andrea. Our planning acquisition focus is phase 2, Kilmarnock to Harris Road, and then Compass to Irvington Town Commons. We have a scope of work and contract awaiting approval from Bay Design Group to utilize the $100,000 in Chesapeake Gateway's funding we have to do right-of-way and preliminary engineering for phase 2. And then also want to call out the junior ROTC program at the high school for taking a leadership position and helping us with maintenance and come up with a maintenance plan for the Triway Trail. And there also is a Friends group forming. We're using volunteer river counties to try to get anybody who uses the trail, loves the trail, wants to help us monitor and clean the trail to come forward and form a group. And that's all I have for my park updates. Any questions?
I would like to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
I've received a lot of positive responses, comments concerning the beach, Westland Beach. Yeah, we had those few warm days in January, and I got calls that people were down there actually fishing on the pier and had taken chairs down and were sitting on the beach. So if that's an indication of what's to come, that's good.
Mr. Chairman, if I could add just a couple of things. We have a camera at Windmill Point. It worked when it was first put up. There were some electricity issues with it. They have been corrected. That's back online now. We also have been given a public link that Glenn will at some point add to our website so people can have a real-time image of Windmill Point. So
John,
that's.
can we push that out on social media once it's posted?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And just to address a question that you gave me earlier today, Mr. Chairman, you said you had some calls about the timeline for the Kilmarnock Refuge Center expansion and where we're at right now with that. The J.C. Franklin Incorporated had a substantial completion review done December 18th. Along with our engineers. Our engineers developed a punch list to give to them, final things that they needed to do. Those actions are underway to be completed. There is a portion of White Pine Drive that the public right-of-way will need to be abandoned because we have added a second driveway into the convenience center. So we'll be addressing that abandonment over the next couple of months, bringing a public hearing to you if not next month, in March, to abandon that short section of White Pine Drive. You will remember, too, that you all had asked a question about bringing three-phase electric service to that site. Our contracted engineers subcontracted with an electrical engineering firm to do a study on that. That study was done, the information was passed on to Dominion, an estimate was brought back of about, I think, close to $300,000, which we determined was really more cost prohibitive. So that electrical engineering firm has created a plan to underground the single-phase service. That was done December 12th, and we're currently trying to coordinate with Dominion to get approval for that and to get that done. We've also been in contact with Waste Management about the third compactor, getting that installed. And as far as the prefab buildings, bale storage buildings, that was not part of the original contract with J.C. Franklin. We're handling that in-house. And so those things will be ongoing. So I'll try to come up with a better timeline of when we can expect full completion of this, but that's an update right now of where we're at.
So that compactor will come online before the building and all that?
It could, if it gets here in time, yes.
And when you say that we're doing the prefab buildings in-house, you mean we're just contracting it out? as a
Yes,
county?
yes.
Okay.
But that wasn't a part of the J.C. Franklin contract, and it's
Okay.
not part of another request for proposals. It's just, we'll be getting bids and.
And we don't have a timeline on that?
No, I don't have an exact timeline on that, but we'll work to get you one.
But by the summer, right? Possibly?
Well, we can always hope.
Hopefully we'll have the third compactor open by summer.
Oh, yeah, hope so.
That would be a big help.
It's a huge help.
That's more, that's probably very much doable as opposed to having all the other buildings in place.
We still need to be actively searching and locating another site.
We've talked in the past about trying to locate another site, maybe in the lower end, Whitestone area. So, yeah, we're still looking for that.
Because we can't go to Northumberland anymore. Unless you have a sticker.
All right, next item on our agenda is Matt giving us an update on our P25 emergency communications radio upgrade.
So when do we start the P26 upgrade?
As soon as this one is complete.
Matt, before you get started, Mr. Geezy and I were at a emergency preparedness meeting last week, and that kind of sparked this whole thing. There's this idea from some of the other emergency staff and volunteers that we're behind on this, that they don't know where we are as far as when this is going to be completed. I want to say that they were worried that we only had one tower working last week, and it was just concerning, so we wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, so we do have a tower offline, so the current system is in bypass mode. So we had, antenna was damaged, and the estimate that we had was about $145,000 plus to fix it, to essentially buy us a few months. So with that amount of money, it really just wasn't worth it. Down the road, it ended up, that damaged device had to come off the tower anyway, but all of the other sites were still operational. So the biggest thing that would have put us down is generator failed to start is usually number one issue from power loss. So we had Paul Ryan went around and provided a lot of servicing and checked over everything beforehand, confirmed there was no errors and everything was testing good. Everything was good fuel-wise, and he was prepared to come out if we did have that happen. So another part of that is we actually turned the new system on Friday to also have as a backup, but it was an as-is state. But everything actually came online pretty good, and with no errors noted. So the coverage was so strong that it started affecting Matthews, and we ended up they had to turn it off and put that into bypass mode on Monday. Okay. So as of now, the system is online. The biggest challenge we had was really that 14-month delay on the lease negotiation on the SBA site in Maryball. That threw us behind a lot, and then between the weather at the beginning of the year last year, and then when they came out of the summer for the backhaul installations, we essentially lost our space on the cable ladder, so we had to reconfigure all of that. And then also at Litwalton, there was some height issues with some lease space that T-Mobile had. So the week before and the week of Christmas, they were able to come down and get all of that completed. So we ended up having to move an antenna at Lawton up about 25 feet, and they were able to everything else installed. All of the cables were run to the shelter, and all of their equipment was tested the following week. So all of our tower work is completed. Really, the only thing left at the sites at this point is our mutual aid radios, our overlay radio system, and then several punch list items like alarms and sensors, and kind of just cleaning up everything. Really, the next major push is going to be dispatch. A lot of the electrical work and the RAP preparation is ongoing. They're kind of stopping by about once a week and getting that done. The next kind of major overhaul is going to be the replacement of the dispatch consoles. It's just going to take some coordination with them to see if they can get away with maybe doing it during a lower volume time, or if they're actually going to have to kind of relocate to Northumberland for the day or not. Because it's just a tight space to work, because they're taking the whole thing apart and putting the new stuff in and rebuilding it. So it's hard to do when you're bumping up against the other person who's trying to work. There's a fiber link with a microwave backhaul that goes from the sheriff's office to the SBA tower. That was completed. Mobile installation, everything has been, you go back up. Everything has been completed, except for there's one ambulance left, which will either be done most likely next week. Outside of that, they're going to start programming mid next week, and then the week after, I know it's about 600 radios to touch total in the system, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Everything else has been running okay. You can go down. So this is our current schedule, middle of February, to get kind of the punch list items done at the site. You see the second week of February, we're doing what's called a factory to field. So the engineering team, several others involved in the project will come from L3 Harris and go over everything that's installed and do what they call a commissioning as long as they find everything is running properly. So following that will be a dry run of the ATP, which is the acceptance testing plan. If anything comes from that, they'll work on the issues next and mostly just keep going forward. Once the sites are commissioned, they'll move to the dispatch centers at Lancaster and Northumberland. After that, we've set coverage testing for beginning of April to let some foliage get back on the trees so we can do foliage testing. After that, we'll be all set to switch over. So right now, it's just preliminary plan for the beginning of May.
What did you say about something interfering with the Matthews?
So when they turned our site on Friday, the radio does what's called an affiliation. So it takes the best site with the best signal and will link to that radio. So as our system is new and their stuff was already programmed, it was just causing issues with their devices.
Is that just an adjustment that we make on our end?
That'll be part of that reprogramming.
Okay. So we're on the timeline that we had hoped for.
Yeah, we had some setbacks last year, really with having that additional site planning and site work in the lease agreement. That's what essentially put us off the most. But as of now, we kind of slowed, more or less slowed everything down to hit that foliage coverage testing point. And that's pretty much it, but everything is really rolling right now.
Yeah, I didn't hear any problems during the storm, and the storm didn't turn out to be a major problem.
Everything really did all right.
Okay. I have complete trust in you.
So.
In your ability, so.
It'll be really nice.
It's just when I hear complaints, I need to address them the best I can.
And I've been covering this with the fire departments at least every quarter. We had met last week just for some of their budget planning and went over a lot of it. So most of them already were aware.
And this is a big project.
Yeah.
A tremendous project.
It's been a lot.
One that I hope we don't have to encounter while I'm on the board.
Is there any questions on the radio system? I do have one more thing. So regarding our current capital improvement project this year, the cardiac monitors and CPR device. So I was able to get a grant for that. We were awarded $101,250 for that. So
A little less than half of it, right?
It's 50/50. Yeah.
That's great.
So
That is good.
other than that, we'll get ready for some, I wasn't finished. I had some pictures.
Yeah, you got pictures, yeah.
So this is our path. So this is our cell. So like in the change order, we split the cell from Northumberland. So we're our own thing here. So this is the.
Hold on.
There we go. So our signal comes in from Matthews and Center Cross and Essex, and then once it hits our sites, it goes over to Surprise Hill, and then you can go down one. So this is the entire system right now. This is the entire, so this features Matthews, us, Northumberland, Richmond County going to Westmoreland, Essex, and King and Queen. So that's the big network picture there. You can go down. So this is what it looks like. This is at Akron. So the backhaul is the left rack, and then the Harris Master 5 is on the right, and all of our connectivity items are in the middle.
So there's this equipment at each station,
Yes.
essentially? Is there like a house built or something for it, or where is that being stored at?
House. What was your question?
All this equipment I was just saying, this is at each tower?
Oh, yeah, at each cell site, yeah. Outside of the picture, there's probably a 3.5, 4 foot tall UPS that runs everything. That one has a 3-hour run time, so we have UPS and the generator. So that's there to prevent that generator failure to start. That's their number one cause of sites being down, especially during weather. So that's there. And really all 3 sites, there might be some movement of the backhaul tower, but really everything looks just like this. You can go down one. So this is also the Akron Tower. So the large microwave antenna are ours. You can see the smaller one right below it on that right-hand side, and then it's hard to tell the color, but the antennas in blue are all of our new stuff. So that's just kind of what it looks like once it's up on the tower. And as a size comparison, I know it's hard to see, but right above the 6-foot antenna on the left-hand side, that is our current 4 gigahertz antenna. So you could see the capacity difference there. But that's all I had.
Thank you, man.
We'll get ready for some more snow.
You could have ended it a better way, man. All right, next on our agenda is the start of our public hearings, and I will turn that over to Andrea.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Our first public hearing is for an application for a special exception by Diane and Robert Ward of Gaithersburg, Maryland, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29 of the zoning ordinance. The property is zoned R1 Residential General and is located at 359 Grand Villa Drive in Weems, tax map number 27-89E in District 5. Based on the information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic system can support a 5-bedroom home. The applicant has provided all of the other requisite information as identified under the ordinance. The property is hosted through, or this is an existing short-term rental, and the rental is registered to operate with the county for the 2026 calendar year. The property is hosted through Airbnb, therefore payment of the transient occupancy tax is automatically collected and sent to the county via the hosting platform, and the applicant is aware of the need to manually submit monthly tax returns and payments for taxes collected directly. The issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. To date, there are no complaints or comments on file regarding the short-term rental special exception application. I believe Mr. Ward might be, yes, he is here, in case you have any questions for him or myself. Thank you.
All right, any questions, board members, any discussion before we open up the public hearing? Okay, hearing none, we open the floor for public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this matter? You have anyone online, Glenn? No, sir. Okay. All right, no one to speak on it. Do I hear a motion on this?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the application for this special exception for a short-term rental.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, our second public hearing is again for an application for special exception by Travis and Samantha Sneed of West Point, Virginia, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29. The property is zoned R1 Residential General and is located at 231 Foxwells Lane, Whitestone, Virginia, tax map 36-11A in District 3. Based on information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic can support a two-bedroom home. The applicant, again, has provided all the requisite information and documentation as required under the ordinance. This is not a pre-existing short-term rental. This is a new one. And the owner is seeking approval prior to the official launch of their short-term rental later this year. Once approved, the owner will complete the 2026 annual transient occupancy taxes that need to be collected. The issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified. Is required by law. There are no complaints on file regarding this application. And again, Mr. is here and available to answer questions should you have any. And again, thank you.
All right. Any questions from the board? Okay, hearing none. We will open up the public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone online, Glenn?
No, sir.
All right, public hearing is closed.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this special exception.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Public hearing number 3, again, is an application for a special exception by, this is a limited liability company, BTKMP, from Charlottesville, Virginia, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29. The property is zoned R1 Residential General and is located at 867 Oak Hill Road in Lancaster, tax map 26J-1-9 in District 1. The company we checked in, the company has been duly registered with the Virginia State Corporation Commission, and based on information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic system can support a 3-bedroom home. The applicant, again, has provided all the required information and documentation as noted under the ordinance. This is an existing short-term rental, and the short-term rental is registered to operate with the county for the 2026 calendar year. The property is hosted through VRBO and Airbnb, and the transient occupancy taxes are collected and paid to the county automatically. And again, the owners are aware of manually submitting monthly tax returns and payments for those that are collected directly. The issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. To date, there are no complaints or comments on file regarding this application. I believe, yes, a member of the LLC is here for questions, as well as I'll answer if you have any. Thank you.
Okay. All right, board members, any questions? Don't see any. Okay. We shall open up the public hearing. The public hearing is now open. Would anyone like to speak? Glenn, you have any online?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I move that the public hearing is now closed, and all in favor, I put a motion forward to accept this special exception permit.
Call the question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Public hearing number 4 is for a special exception application by Andrew Ranson of Irvington, Virginia, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29. The property is zoned R1 Residential General and is located at 109 Wharton Grove Lane in Weems, tax map 33-14 in District 5. Based on information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic system can support a 3-bedroom home. The applicant has provided all the other required information and documentation as required under the ordinance. This is an existing short-term rental, and the short-term rental is registered to operate with the county for the 2026 calendar year. The property is hosted through Airbnb, and the transient occupancy taxes are automatically collected and sent to the county via the hosting platform. And again, the applicant is aware of the need to manually submit tax returns and monthly and payments that are collected directly. This issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. To date, there are no complaints or comments on file regarding this short-term application. I think Mr. Ranson, no, not here, but I can answer any questions you might have. He might be online, I'm not sure.
All right, anybody have any questions? All right, hearing no questions. Move to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone would like to speak? Seeing none, is there anyone online?
No, sir.
All right. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this application for special exception.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right.
All right, public hearing number 5 is for an application for a special exception by David Rose of Hudgens, Virginia, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29. The property is zoned R1 Residential General and is located at 4581 Windmill Point Road in Whitestone, tax map number 36-18 in District 3. Based on the information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic system can support a 2-bedroom home. The applicant has provided the required documentation and information as required by the ordinance. This is not a pre-existing short-term rental. The applicant has registered to operate the short-term rental with the county for the 2026 calendar year, and I think it will start operating immediately once approved. The applicant is aware of the transient occupancy tax to be collected with each rental and submitted monthly. The issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. To date, there are no complaints or comments on file regarding this application. Mr. Rose was not able to attend, but he sent an email that he wanted passed along that just says, "Please convey my sincere regrets to the board members for my absence. I do not take their decision lightly. Emergency circumstances due to weather just doesn't allow me to make it. It would be unfair at this late date to ask Kelly, who is his property manager, to risk travel as well. Thank you and the BOS officials for their consideration and understanding." Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? All right. Hearing none, move to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to speak? Seeing none, is there anyone online?
No, sir.
Okay, move to close the public hearing. Do I entertain a motion?
I move that we approve this special exception.
You've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Last but not least is our last hearing for number 6, which is a special exception from Nicholas and Marjorie Spencer of Madison, Virginia, to operate an unhosted short-term rental as required by Article 29. This property is zoned R3 Residential Medium General and is located at 19 Riverside Drive, Lancaster, tax map number 11-27A in District 1. Based on the information provided by the Health Department, the existing septic system can support a 2-bedroom home. The applicant has provided the required documentation and information as required by the ordinance. This is an existing short-term rental, and the short-term rental is registered to operate with the county for the 2026 calendar year. It is hosted through VRBO and Airbnb, therefore the transient occupancy taxes are collected automatically and sent to the county via the platforms, and the applicant is aware of the need to manually submit monthly tax returns and payments for taxes collected directly. This issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. To date, there are no complaints or comments on file regarding this application. The owners are not here, but I believe they are on Zoom. If you have any questions, as well as I'll answer any if you have any for me. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions? All right, hearing none, I move to open up the public hearing. Anyone like to speak? Seeing none, anybody online, Glenn?
No, sir.
Okay. Motion to close the public hearing. I move that we accept the special exception permit as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, the next thing on our agenda is our consensus docket.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consensus docket.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, next thing is our consideration docket, and the first item are salaries and invoices.
We have 2 months to approve this time, both December, because that was an early meeting in January. The expenditures for December 25 were total invoices, $4,941,563.89. Total payroll, $493,319.14, for a total of $5,435,083.03. Of capital improvements were $4,212,398.88.
All right, you've heard the information on the December salaries and invoices. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Is there, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I move that we approve the January salaries and invoices in the total amounts of, total invoices, $6,121,817.70. Total payroll, $508,741.82, for a total of $6,630,559.52, of which capital improvements were $5,022,758.36.
All right, is there a motion? Oh, Jason's a motion, okay. All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, next thing on our agenda is proposed right-of-way agreement with Dominion Energy for the new school sewage pump station. Don?
Mr. Chairman, in order to provide electrical service to the new school sewage pump station currently under construction, Dominion needs an additional 15-foot by 40-foot utility easement across county-owned property, as depicted on page 4 of the agreement, in order to provide electrical service to that building. So I'm asking that you approve that agreement and authorize the county administrator and county attorney to execute it.
All right, you've heard the request.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the right-of-way agreement and authorize our county administrator to execute the agreement.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, next item, Don, is the award of the bid for the jail roof replacement.
Mr. Chairman, on December 15th of 2025, it should be, an invitation to bid was issued requesting bids from qualified roofing contractors for the replacement of the jail roof. Bids were due back January 8th. Only one bid was received. That bid was from Vertex Roofing Contractors. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because that is the contractor that did the repair work on this building. The proposed bid that was received does satisfy the advertised scope of work. You will recall that $180,000 was approved and appropriated in the FY 26 through 30 capital improvement budget for this job. So the proposed bid is within that budgeted amount. So I'm asking that you award the bid in the amount of $174,000 to Vertex Roofing, and again, authorize me to execute documents required to facilitate that work.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we award the bid in the amount of $174,000 to Vertex Roofing Contractors and authorize the county administrator to execute the documents required to facilitate the repair work.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, next item is the approval of the estimate for the pull-off areas along Harpers Creek Drive at our public pier access there. Don?
Mr. Chairman, you all will recall, this time last year, the board voted unanimously to approve a lease agreement that was masterfully crafted by our county attorney, Jim Cornwell. That lease agreement would stay the course to develop an additional public access site off of Harpers Creek Drive. Since that time, the county has acquired additional right-of-way that is adjacent to a large portion of the existing Harpers Creek Drive. And Bay Design Group has designed 2 pull-offs that maximize the available area outside of wetlands. Those pull-offs will improve the ingress and egress to this almost completed public pier and boat ramp. At the time the lease was signed, the pull-off areas had not been designed, so a proper estimate could not be obtained at that point. Now that the engineered design is complete, an estimate of $71,400 has been provided for the construction of these 2 pull-off areas.
All right, you've heard the presentation. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve
All right,
this construction estimate for the pull-off areas.
all right, you've heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I would point out to you that after this came about, we were approached by the attorney for one of the property owners adjacent to Harpers Creek, Mr. Smith, who he indicated to me that his client might be interested in providing further right-of-way for the county. After consultation with Don, he and I decided that it would be better probably to wait to see how much volume of traffic there was on this road before we started talking about any further right-of-way.
Thank you for that info. All right, next item on our agenda is the proposed budget meeting calendar. Don?
Mr. Chairman, as we've done over the past several years, we've proposed a calendar of additional meeting dates that is the earliest possible time frame with the least number of additional meetings, given all the required advertisements and waiting periods of all of the applicable boards and commissions. You know, this budget has to go through the Planning Commission with the capital improvement budget, obviously the Board of Supervisors, and then the school budget part of it has to go through the school board. So there's a lot of moving parts with the annual budget. I've already had departments and organizations asking about upcoming work session dates. So I provided this proposed calendar for you and asked that you have checked your calendars for any conflicts, and I hope that you will adopt this proposed calendar of additional meeting dates so that we can proceed with the FY27 budget.
I move that we approve this. I think it's been very efficient that since we've gone to this process of having a specific meeting dates and a schedule, we get the work done now and don't drag on and on and on and on and on, which we used to just have meetings to talk about the numbers and then go home and do nothing.
That's right, I agree
So
100%.
now we actually get the work done in a timely fashion. So I move for approval.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda are board appointments. And I think we have one vacancy and one position that has expired, and the current person in that position is not requesting to be put back on, per
Correct.
Don.
Correct.
Okay.
What is that for, the Economic Development Authority, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
And we still have the District 5
for the
Historic Resources?
Yes.
District 5 down there?
Yes, I'll start searching around.
She has
All right, okay.
We would like to get that board back moving and active again.
Okay. So, hearing no appointments right now, we will move on. So the next thing on our agenda is the county administrator's report.
I've got just 2 things, Mr. Chairman. The first statement is if any of you have not filed your statement of economic interest with Crystal, please do so before Monday, is the deadline. There are some consequences if you don't do that, so please do that.
What is the penalty?
It's a $250 fine.
Per day.
Per minute.
And they put your picture up.
Yeah, so please, if you haven't done it, please,
TriStar?
please do so. John, if you would hand them out. I usually do fiscal year, mid-year update, and in the past years, I put it under the consideration docket, but there's really nothing for you to act on. So I didn't have it completed when I put the agenda out last week due to the storm prep that we had going on, but I have completed it since then, and I've got that one pager in front of you. This is how we look 6 months into FY26. You'll see in that column to the left under FY26, the fund balance at the beginning of the year is the audited number. You heard Jay Sanudo talk about earlier how our unassigned fund balance had increased about 1.1 million from last year. So the audited number sits at 8.6 million. The rest of those numbers there are the budgeted numbers that you approved last May. To the right is the numbers as we stand halfway through the year. So you can see for general property taxes how much we've collected, other local funds, funds from the Commonwealth, federal government, school operating revenues, cafeteria revenues, textbook revenues. If you look at the total revenues, we've collected 69% of our budgeted revenues as of December 31st. One thing I know Mr. Geezy has asked a question about in previous years is the federal government number being so low at this point of the year, but that's not really a concern. Those reimbursements and funds usually come in, they drag in. So it's not untypical to have that number be that low at this point in the year. On the expenditure side, again, you'll see the expenditures as they sit for December 31st for all the different areas: general government, courts, public safety, public works, health and welfare, the education, which is non-public schools, recreation and cultural activities, community development, the non-departmental, school operating, school cafeteria, textbook expenditures, debt service. If you look at our total expenditures, right now we have spent about 46% of what we have budgeted. So halfway through the year, you would hope to have spent less than 50%, which we have. You would hope to have collected more than 50% of your revenues, which we have. That's where we sit right now, very in general terms. If you've got any specific questions, I'll be happy to.
This capital fund revenues, is that money we've made off of the bond?
That, yes. Yes.
Is that just for this half of year?
No, that was actually the budgeted amount, and I don't have that number in there. I have to get that for you.
The expenses down there, most of that 23 million, I imagine, was for the school.
Yes. If you want to break it out, I can tell you that. The school was $20,257,357.48. County capital improvement, $2,788,887.98.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Don on that?
One question about the fund balance. The audited fund balance was 8 million and something, you said?
$8,614,395 to begin FY26.
And so this is, the 6 million is where we're at right now, or?
No, 6 million would be where the fund balance would stand on June 30th of this year, at the end of FY26, if all of our revenues and expenditures go as budgeted as you approved them in May. And typically, we know, historically, we collect more revenues than what we budget for, and we historically spend a little bit less than when we budget. So that number may go up.
So the 8,614,000 could be accurate?
Well, the 8,614,000 is accurate. That is an audited number.
I mean, at the end end of the year?
The number, the 6,729,346 at the end of the,
That's the projected.
yeah, that's projected.
Based
That
on
could,
the budget.
that could
That
be,
could be
that could
higher.
go.
What percentage is that beginning fund balance to total expenditures? Do you know off the top of your head? Or
It would be, I can tell you,
I could run it, but I didn't.
that's 18.4%.
Okay, so we dropped it about 4. Okay. Because the auditors, their desire is to keep that fund balance.
They've always said 15%, or a little higher.
We said it way lower than
A
that.
prior board had said 7%.
Yeah.
And if you remember last year, when we were going through the budget process, some of the scenarios were struggling to meet that 7%. But I remember telling you all that, I thought the budget numbers would come in a little bit better, and they did. So yeah, I mean, I think we're,
In good shape.
yeah, we're right in that. Now, keep in mind, though, that you all did borrow $25 more million in calendar year '25, and we will have that debt service to service in FY '27. So while these numbers are good, I think we've got that additional debt service coming as well.
It starts in '27, you said.
Actually, we made one interest payment on the VRA, the 2025 VRA bond, which was for the 10 million for county parks. We've made one interest payment on that one already.
Okay.
That's the only payment from the new money that will be made in FY '26.
All right. The next thing we've got is to go into a closed meeting. And
Yeah, Jason's got the-
I move that the Board of Supervisors enter into a closed meeting for one, personnel per section 2.23711A of the Code of Virginia as amended. 2, acquisition, disposition of real property per section 2.23711A3 of the Code of Virginia as amended. And legal matters per section 2.23711A8 of the Code of Virginia as amended.
All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, break for closed meeting. We call the meeting back to order out of the closed session. I move that the Lancaster County Board of Supervisors adopt the following certification resolution. Whereas the Lancaster County Board of Supervisors convened in a closed meeting on January 29, 2026, pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote on the motion to close the meeting to discuss personnel, legal matters, and acquisition, disposition of real property in accordance with Section 2.2-3711 .A.1, 2.2-3711.A.8, and 2.22-3711.A.3 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board of Supervisors that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lancaster County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting to which this certification applies. Before a vote is taken on this resolution, is there any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements of number 1 and number 2 above? If so, identify yourself and state the substance of the matter and why, in your judgment, it was a departure. Hearing no statement, I will call the question. Vote. Mr. Geezy, aye. Mr. Bellows?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Palin?
Certified.
Mr. Smith?
I certify.
The certification resolution is adopted.
I move to adjourn.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.